All right, all right. All right, all right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Roger Report Live. This is your host, Hot Sauce. Sorry, hold on. The banner is wrong. How do I? The banner is wrong. Sorry, one second, guys. A little bit of technical difficulty. This should not be the right banner. This should not be the right banner. Well, one second. Sorry, guys. This should not be the right banner. I need to change the banner.
Hi, you've reached 1-7.
Um, I don't know why the background is. Just give me one second. I don't know why the background is what the background is, but I guess we're going to do it. Um, sorry. Um, I don't know why the background is the way the background is, but we're going to move forward. I guess we're going to move forward. We're just going to move forward. All right, so welcome, welcome to the Roger Report. I am your host, Hot Sauce, and this is the Chinese Takeover, Shanghai Takeover, and today we have a very exciting show for you today. We have a very exciting show for you today. Today we're going to talk about who is the ultimate GOAT. So let me get into it today. Okay, so welcome back to the Courtside Debates, the podcast where legends just don't play, they compete. I am Hot Sauce, and today we're going to dive into the GOAT conversation, the real one. No fanboy stuff. Shout out to Roger and MJ, where we break down where we break it down with 15 real categories that define who truly is the best player in the NBA, who is the best player that the NBA has ever seen. Now, we all know that MJ, LeBron, Kareem all get their love. But today is only gonna be one man standing. So first, let me holler at you with the nominees. Before I begin, shout out to the people in the chat. Shout out to Tunnel Runner. Shout out to Afro Merchant. Shout out to shout out to everybody in the chat that's watching. Now let's get to it. Now, here are our 10 nominees. In no particular order. We got number one, the man from the Bay Area, who woman can't keep her clothes on while taking pictures for magazines. The one and only Steph Curry, 4 championships, 2 MVPs, one unanimous MVP, and largely considered the greatest shooter of all time. Next, we have Hakeem Olajuwon from 84 to 2002, two-time champ, two-time final MVP, best footwork of any big man. right? He made Shaquille O'Neal his pool boy in that finals. Next, we have the Big Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal, from 92 to 2011. Four-time NBA champion, three-time finals MVP, considered the most dominant in the big era, but we shall see. Next, we have the Wonder Brand, the only white man on this list. Y'all know him as the greatest rival to Magic Johnson. I know him as that dude who used to be a line cook. The one and only Larry Bird from 1979 to 1992. Three championships, three MVPs, an elite shooter, and he used to wear Michael Jordan out. So let's not forget that. Because before Scottie Pippen, it was Larry Bird spanking that ass. Now, moving on to Mr. Well, not anymore, but considered one of the greatest Lakers of all time. Had more honeys than Wilt Chamberlain himself. The cure for HIV, Mr. Magic Johnson, from 1979 to 1991. Five championships, three MVPs. Changed how point guards were played, and he changed the idea about there was no cure for HIV. Next up, we got Tim Duncan, Mr. Fundamentals, so boring that his wife cheated on him with his teammate. From 1997 to 2016, five-time champion, three times Finals MVP, considered the most consistent leader. Next, we got Mr. 20-year Kareem Abdul-Jabbar from 69 to 89. Six championships, five with the Lakers, six MVPs, former all-leading scorer for decades. Then we got Mr. Long, the second. Now we have Mr. Longevity himself, LeBron, PEDs, James. Shout out to Miami. If you know, you know. Came into the league in 03. He's present. He's still playing now. Four-time champion, four-time MVP, four times Finals MVP, and an all-time leading scorer. Right? Took him 20 years to get it, but hey, it doesn't. What do they say? Right? Doesn't matter how you start the race as long as you finish. And even though everybody finished before you, hey, you still finish. Then we got the myth, the legend, Michael Jeffrey Jordan. So for all you Chicago natives, because I know this is the Roger Report, you guys are going to be fanboying over this man. He came in the league in '84, left the league in '98 because of gambling, came back in the league in '01, and then left the league again in '03. Six championships, six finals, five MVPs, one Defensive Player of the Year. Never made a six. He's 6 for 6 in the finals, a game that never went to a game 7. No finals game has ever went to game 7. Is considered the GOAT by that recognition, but again, that is how media is doing it, and we are the independent black male media, so we're going to show you how it's done the right way. Then, last but not least, Kobe Bean Bryant from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, entered into the NBA in '96. Retired in 2016. Rest in peace, the Mamba and Mambacita. As y'all know, he tragically died in a helicopter accident with his daughter. So rest in peace. 5-time champion, 2 times final MVP, 12 times all defensive. And he's the Mamba mentality. So, ladies and gentlemen, here are our 10 candidates. Now, Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, we're gonna leave them out. We're gonna leave the OGs out. They're the founding forefathers, so we're gonna leave the OGs out. We're just gonna talk about more or less from 80s on, and we're gonna keep it like that. So, here is the criteria. Number one, accolades. Number two, scoring skills. Number three, two-way dominance. Number four, impact on winning. Number five, longevity and consistency. Number six, era of dominance. Number seven, quality of opponents. Number eight, international fame. Number nine, the Olympics. Number 10, adversity. See, the thing about it is, a good hero story needs to have adversity. What what have you overcome? What have you triumphed over? If you have been dominant throughout the years, that's impressive. But overcoming, standing tall when all odds are against you, the David and Goliath story, the underdog. America loves a good underdog story. So this is one of the key things we need to be looking for, ladies and gentlemen. Number 11, skill set and versatility. 12, cultural impact. 13, team resilience. 14, intangibles, work ethic, leadership. And 15, making teams and teammates better. So, these are the 15 categories. These are the 15 nominees. 15 nominees. So now we're about to hit. So now we're going to go in a deep dive in each of the categories. So, category number 1, accolades. Now, as you all know, this will go again. Bill Russell, Chamberlain, all the OGs, the founding fathers. We're going to kind of keep them in the founding fathers box. We're not going to really focus on them. We're going to really focus on the modern era for the most part. So accolades gotta go to Michael Jordan. Surprise, surprise. Runner up is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Michael has 6 rings, 6 finals MVPs, 5 regular season MVPs, 10 scoring 10 scoring titles. He is the most decorated player, and he has also won Defensive Player of the Year award. He is the most decorated player over a span of 10 years. Next would be runner-up, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So that's 1 point for Michael. Next, scoring skills. And the winner would be, round of applause, Kobe B. Bryant. Kobe has the most complete scoring bag ever. Post, mid-range, fadeaways, threes, isolation, contested shots. He has the most 81-point games. He has the most 60-point games. He has more 60-point games than Jordan, and he has the most 60-point games than Jordan and LeBron. The only person that has more than him would be Wilt Chamberlain. Next, we have two-way dominance. Winner, Kobe Bryant. Runner-up, Hakeem Olajuwon. Kobe is an elite defender and scorer at the same time. He's a 12-time all-defensive first. He's 12-time all-defense. He has 9 first teams and 4 second-team all-defense. Jordan only has 10, so Kobe has 2 more than him. Also, he can guard 1 through the 3, and he carried the offense. So another point for Kobe. Impact on winning. Chicago. Winner, Michael Jordan. Runner-up, Kobe Bryant. MJ was 6-0 in the finals. No Game 7s. But no game sevens. So impact on winning really gotta kind of go to Michael Jordan if we're going to be fair. Consistency and longevity, right? With the help of steroids, winner LeBron James, runner up Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. LeBron has played elite ball for 20 plus these seasons and he's still at it. And so that's a testament to LeBron's savviness and money that he found the right mix of pharmaceuticals where he can still keep his prime for such a long time. I know. Yeah. Next. Oh, also, once I finish, I will invite people up one by one. You can give me your take. You can let me know if you agree, disagree, why or why not, and who is your favorite, and who do you think is the GOAT, and why or why not. So moving forward. Okay, so we just finished with LeBron, steroid James. Next, era of dominance. Winner, no surprise there. Kobe Bean Bryant. Kobe dominated the dead ball era. In 2000s, the universal scores were under 100 points. Why? Because they played defense. In the dead ball era, Kobe was able to hit 81 points, multiple 51 points. Kobe Bryant is the only player that has scored 60 points on every single team in the NBA, which really makes him a phenomenal player and one of the best scorers, if not the best scorer in modern NBA history. Okay. Number 7, quality of opponents. From 2008 to 2009, Kobe faced 50 plus, more 51 plus teams than any other superstar in NBA history. Let me repeat that. From 2008 to 2000 and from 2010 in the playoffs, Kobe faced more 50 plus win teams than any other superstar. That is including Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Kareem, whoever. Also, Kobe has beaten more. Matter of fact, Kobe in one season has faced more 51 teams than Magic Johnson faced in his whole career. Let that rest in, folks. Kobe has faced more 50 plus teams than in one season than Magic Johnson in his whole career. Also, Kobe has beaten more 50 plus teams than any player in NBA history. So, next we move on to international fame. Now, the runner up, Michael Jordan, a part of the Dream Team, extended the legacy of basketball, but let's be serious, right? Jordan in the Olympics, he played high school kids and college kids, right? Or he played like semi-pro people. That's like, that's like Shaq playing against a bunch of fifth graders, right? The scores were ridiculous, 30-point, 25-point blowouts. But the reason why Kobe wins in the Olympics is because LeBron James and Tim Duncan brought shame to this country. They brought back in 2004 a bronze medal. Allen Iverson, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Tim Duncan, a bronze medal. So in 2008, Kobe Bean Bryant restored America's rightful place at the top of the basketball world. Something that Jordan never had to do. And also competition was much better. There were much more NBA players that played in the Olympics that came from abroad. But despite the overwhelming obstacles that Kobe Bryant had that Michael Jordan didn't have, Kobe Bryant still brought back gold and restored the legacy of American basketball supremacy. This is why Kobe Bryant is the best international player for the Olympics. And that's why they called it the Redeem Team. Also, number 8, international fame. Now, while Michael Jordan was the poster boy to promote the NBA, Kobe Bean Bryant is loved in Asia, Europe, and Latin America. He spoke multiple languages and he connected with the people. Michael Jordan is known around the world. Kobe Bean Bryant is loved around the world, right? And it just goes to show you that people really don't like people who have gambling addictions. Shout out to Jordan. Number 10, and my favorite. Number 10, and my absolute favorite. My absolute favorite. Adversity. No surprise there, folks. No surprise there whatsoever. Kobe Bean Bryant started out as a bench player under Dale Harris for 3 years. No other top 10 all no other person in the top 10 started from a bench player to become a global icon. Moreover, while Kobe Bryant was playing, this man would fly to Colorado fighting for his freedom, then fly to a basketball game and drop 50, 40 points. Now, if that is not ice cold blood in your veins, I don't know what is. Now, I know we always want to talk about Jordan's fake flu game because it was really food poison from pizza. Let's talk about how Kobe Bryant overcame the adversity of a court case. Let's talk about how Kobe Bryant came over the adversity of demanding people respect his greatness, moving from a bench player to a global icon. That's not tough, folks. That's double tough. Winning his fifth championship with a broken finger on his shooting hand. And people did not know his finger was broken until after he won the championship. Moving on. Skills and adversity. Winner, again, Kobe Bryant. Runner-up, LeBron James. Kobe is considered the most complete player by everyone. So there's no definitive there. Next, we have cultural impact. And this, ladies and gentlemen, surprise, surprise, goes to Steph, your wife don't respect you, Curry. Right now, you have little munchkins all around the world grabbing the rebound, running out to the three-point line, shooting threes because how Curry changed the game. Right now, you have people under 6 foot, under 6'6", believing that they can make it into the NBA. Right now, you have people practicing their handles, shooting all around the three-point line, while their girlfriends are posting butt naked on Instagram because they want to be like Steph Curry. Shout out to Curry's wife. For the butt naked pictures. We all appreciate it. You're a mom, so you should be ashamed of yourself, but we still appreciate it. All right, so when it comes to cultural impact, on and off the court, congratulations, Curry, you made the list. Team resilience, right? Who's been the consummate leader and consistency? Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan won with minimal noise. Different rosters. Okay? Runner-up was Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant is the only person to win 2 championships without a top 75 player. But the nod still goes to Tim Duncan. Intangibles, work ethic, and leadership. Obviously, Michael Jordan is cited for an impeccable work ethic. Michael Jordan is cited with great leadership, which is such a farce. So, but according to AI, he comes in second because while Michael Jordan had fantastic work ethic, Kobe Bryant had psychotic work ethic. Michael Jordan is cited to be a good leader, but nobody ever said he was a good leader. Kobe Bryant actually was a great leader. Even Shaq said he was a good leader. Now, 15, and the last point here, making teammates better. Now, before everybody gets crazy, before everybody gets crazy, I don't want to hear it. But the tangibles is as follows. So, y'all know it's Kobe Bryant, right? There's no surprise there. But let me explain to you why. So please just keep an open mind. Kobe Bryant is the winner. Magic Johnson actually the runner-up because Michael Jordan was a jerk, right? And he was an a-hole. While Magic Johnson is an all-time standard for passing, Showtime style unselfishness, Kobe Bryant made his team better by demanding more of them, unlocking their elite potential. So, Paul Gasol, before and after Kobe. Okay, before Kobe, swept 3 times when he was with Memphis. With Kobe, 2 titles, 3 finals. Before Kobe, 19 points per game. I'm sorry, yeah, 18 points per game. Before Kobe, 19.1. So more or less the same, no difference there. Before All-Star selections before Kobe, 1. When he started playing with Kobe, All-Star selections, 3. Context. Before Kobe, Gasol was labeled soft, a skilled but passive big man who never won a playoff game. After joining Kobe in 2008, he became a champion, a clutch defender, and a mental warrior. Kobe challenged him consistently and pushed him to elite levels. This 2016, Paul Gasol, and I quote, "He brought the best out of me. He demanded the best from everyone, including myself. It elevated my whole career." Shout out to you, Paul Gasol. Other examples of elevating teammates. Meta World Peace became a disciplined playoff caliber defender, hitting a critical Game 7 shot in 2010. Lamar Odom won 6 Man of the Year award. Now, when Lamar Odom had Kobe in his life, drug-free. Lamar Odom after Kobe's gone, not drug-free. Messing with the Kardashians. Now he's up in Nevada at some whole house. A crack feed. Shout out to you, Lamar Odom. Let's move on. Now, Kobe also made one person a bit better. Kobe Bryant made it one person a bit better. And this is the truth. Kobe Bryant wasn't just Shaq's teammate. He was the fire that sharpened the most dominant center of the era. Number 1, relentless work ethic that pushed Shaq. While Shaq was coasting off talent, Kobe was waking up at 4 a.m. to train. That obsession raised the standard, especially when Shaq conditioning needed work. To 2020 quote, Shaquille O'Neal, "I was a lazy bum. Kobe pushed me to be great." Okay, the bum part he didn't say. That was a little bit of ad-lib. All right, so, we want to keep it true over here. But the rest of it's fine. "He made me get in shape. He kept me on edge. 2, mental toughness and killer instinct. Shaq dominated physically, but could be too relaxed and playful. Kobe brought an intensity, discipline, and pure competitive fire. In 01 playoff, Kobe averaged 29.4, outscored Shaq in 8 of the 16 playoff games, often closing out tight games. Helped Shaq win when he wasn't 100%. And yeah, we'll just keep it there. Oh, last quote, Shaq, to 2020, remembering Kobe. "He made me better. Make no mistake, he, meaning Kobe Bryant, was a beast because he would never let me relax." So, ladies and gentlemen, for those who are wondering what the count is, and this is the best ranking. This is the best ranking ever for the GOAT. You'll never find a better one than this. So, in the case of the 15 categories, Kobe Bryant comes in first with a 7.5. Michael Jordan comes in second with 4.4. LeBron James come in at 2. Tim Duncan has 1 point. Magic has a point. Hakeem has a point. Well, Magic has a half a point for runner up. Hakeem has a point for runner up, and Steph Curry has 1 point for biggest cultural impact. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be accepting call. I see Champ Car for Life is here, so I'm going to try to add him to the stage. Hey, Champ Car for Life, how are you?
What's going on? What's going on, Hot Sauce? That's a very good list right there.
Thank you, sir.
The all-time greats and everything else. And I do agree with you, about Kobe Bryant, that I would put him up there. I would actually put him at number 2 behind Michael Jordan, because you can't deny the fact what Jordan did, you know,
Well,
was great. But you are right about Kobe Bryant. He basically made the players better around him and everything else. Now, the only blemish, for Kobe is the fact that he lost in the NBA Finals to the Boston Celtics, which was a really good basketball team when you consider you had Kevin Garnett, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce. That was a phenomenally good squad that, he had a hard time overcoming in that, you just had Paul Gasol and everything else. So I would put Jordan at number 1 and Kobe Bryant number 2, and then LeBron James number 3. But I'll go old school. Bill Russell. Now I know it was a very different era at that time, where you only had about, I think you had 8 or 10 teams back in the 50s and 60s, but he made basketball watchable back then in the Celtics. And we won 11 NBA championships, and he did it at a time where, oh my goodness, especially in Boston, Massachusetts at that time, which is the modern day South. He's facing a lot of racism back then. His house got vandalized and all that, even despite winning the NBA championship for Boston. And when he had his and what was so disrespectful for the what the franchise did to him was that time was that he had his jersey retired, but they retired it like virtually. It wasn't that, I'm not sure if it was empty or not, but I heard something about that, and it was like in the early '70s when he retired and everything else. I mean, he was very disrespected by his own
yeah,
city of
but
Boston.
hang on,
But
Champ Car. Champ
go
Car,
ahead.
hold on, because hello, can you hear me? Can you
Yeah, I
hear
can
me?
hear you.
Yeah. Yeah, I said in the very beginning that like Wilt, Bill Russell, things like that, they're the founding fathers, so I don't really
Yeah.
want to disrespect them. So we were just kind of focused on the modern era, but continue. But my question to you is, why in the world do you have Michael Jordan at number 1 solely on accolades? Don't you think there's more to being great than just accolades? I mean, it's important. Winning is important. It's very, very important.
Yes,
That's why we
yes.
play the game. But
Listen, Michael Jordan was a jerk, yes, but he really elevated those players around the team. Guys like Tony Kukoc, Craig Hodges, Horace Grant, Scottie Pippen, and Luke Longley. Luke Longley was a failed first round draft pick until he came to Chicago, and he played a pivotal role in a lot of these NBA postseason games, especially, and also don't forget Steve Kerr. I mean, Steve Kerr didn't.
yeah,
Steve
but
Kerr
Jordan
couldn't.
Jordan never made a superstar. Like Kobe made a superstar in Paul Gasol.
True, true. He made Scottie Pippen a superstar as
That
well.
is that is incorrect, sir. That is incorrect.
Yes, yes.
That
Look,
is incorrect.
he was an all defensive player at that time. He was an all defensive
No,
player.
no,
That was
no.
the only player that
Scottie
he was.
Pippen. Scottie Pippen was a superstar. He was arguably, well, actually, according to Bleacher Report, ESPN, Scottie Pippen in the 90s was somewhere between the second best player of the 90s to the top five player in the 90s, right? So
Yeah.
Jordan played with a top five player of his era, right? So he had a lot of help. But he did not make Pippen a top five player. Pippen made himself a top five player.
Uh, Disagree with that, but go on. But and also too, I'm glad you mentioned about Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan, you got to definitely put him in there. Also, you should have put, Dr. J.
Well, see, the thing about Dr. J is hard because it's hard to get his stats from the ABA,
Right. Right. True. That is true.
right? So I wanted, and that's another thing because before the 90s, plus minus and a lot of the other stats were not calculated, right? So that's
Right.
why it's really hard. So like that's why I can barely squeeze in Magic HIV Johnson into the conversation.
Yeah, true. But Dr. J, listen. He was when he didn't have any good players on his team until he had Moses Malone, and he finally won an NBA championship. But he
Right.
basically carried that franchise by himself to the NBA Finals against a great Boston Celtics team that you had Larry Bird, which I'm unfortunately have to add him on there as well too. You had Larry Bird at that time.
Larry Bird was there. He was in the top 10 nominees.
Um, you had you had Isaiah Thomas.
No, I said
Who
Isaiah. Isaiah he didn't win enough. He didn't win enough. Isaiah didn't win enough to be in the nominees. Like everybody in the
and well,
everybody
he
nominees have
wasn't
four
there,
more.
but he had Isaiah Thomas though, that team that was getting ready to get pretty that was getting up there. Plus, he took on against the Showtime Lakers at that
Yeah, I,
time.
I understand that. I understand, but you gotta like winning does matter. Like there has to be a threshold for the top 10, and he just didn't win enough compared to the other guys.
Yeah.
Right?
What
He just
what
didn't win enough.
yeah. What hurt Dr. J was the fact that he wasn't able to beat, and it kind of hurt him big time was when they lost to the Portland Trailblazers in the 1977 NBA Finals when they were
Right.
up 2 games to 1, and very similar to what LeBron's team did when he was with Miami.
Yeah,
They
but I
choked.
mean,
They
but
choked.
again,
They
again,
choked
like
that
with
up,
Dr.
and
J, like the '70s, right? Like again, like Dr. J, Will, Bill, like they're the founding fathers. Like I didn't really want to touch on them because a lot of the stats they just wasn't calculated back then. So we just kind of put them as the founding fathers. You know what I
right,
mean? They're kind of like the founding fathers. So, but for this debate, I'm truly trying to like pan out, is 6 for 6 enough to be considered the GOAT? I'm saying no. You have to excel in all 15 categories to be considered the GOAT, right? Because
right,
again, America loves the underdog story, right? Coming back from adversity. What is your global standing? You know what I mean? Your skill set and things like that. So Michael Jordan is up. He's up there, right? I mean,
right.
he's number two, number three on the list. But when we look at all of the things that Kobe has done for the game of basketball, you got to put him number one.
It's an argument that you can make him number one too. Really is. It's a very good
Right.
argument.
Because, I mean, did you catch the 15 categories that I talked about?
Yeah, I did. I listened to the 15 categories and everything
Right.
else.
So the only category that Jordan really dominates is accolades, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
But there's so much more to being the GOAT. There's so much more to really be considered the champion of the sport, right? How well did you come over adversity? Jordan really didn't have any adversity,
Well,
right?
no, he did. I thought he did.
What?
Against the Detroit Pistons and the Bad Boys and
He
everything.
overcome. He lost to them. He didn't overcome them. He lost to them.
He that was he was the Pistons were basically the only team that could stop Michael Jordan and everything else. and he had to
Right.
find a way to
So he
overcome
didn't
one thing with them.
so he didn't overcome it, right? He didn't overcome.
Well, to me, I thought he had to overcome that team and everything because
How? He didn't. He never beat them. The first time he won his chip was against the Lakers.
that's true. That's true. He had well, see, early in his career, that franchise, the Chicago Bulls, back in the mid '80s, they were a terrible franchise until he came along and everything, and then they were putting the pieces together with him, and they were drafting Scottie Pippen. Charles
Well, that's
Oakley was
why.
part of that
That's
team.
why. That's why he's runner up for global icon, right? That's why he's a runner up for the global icon because he really changed the franchise around. No doubt about it. But I mean, for Michael to win his chip, he needed he needed age and HIV to help him out
You mean with Magic and everything?
because Magic was older with HIV, right? So
Now you can also make the
Jordan needed
argument
father
too.
time and the HIV disease to help him get his first chip, in my opinion.
Now, another thing too, you can also suggest too is that this: what if Lim Bias, remember that guy?
Yeah.
What if he had not died from a cocaine overdose?
Hey. Well, I
I
mean, yeah,
mean,
but yeah, see, like Jordan Mama was never a crack mama like Tupac, right? He
yeah,
came from a two-parent household, right?
yeah, Lim Bias did
Father,
too.
if is that really his father? Questionable, but I'll go with it for the sake of this argument. What come on. I mean, what are we talking about?
Yeah, I mean, because Lord knows, what if Lim Bias had survived and everything else? What
Yeah,
if
yeah. Well, I mean,
what if Reggie Lewis, hadn't had that unfortunate fatal heart attack
but the
and
point,
everything?
but the point is to overcome, right? If you
Yeah,
face crack cocaine and you lost, we can't say you overcame it, right? Like Lamar Odom. Lamar Odom is a bona fide crackhead. And for those years, for like '08 to '10, he overcame it. Cleaned himself up and he played and he won two chips. Then after that, cocaine got a rematch and won. But at least for that small time frame, he overcame it.
yeah, yeah.
So, and I'm
I'm just
asking,
saying though, but when it comes to super teams, at that time that Michael Jordan had to overcome, he had to overcome a very bad franchise. First, it was the Boston Celtics that was getting old when you had Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, and Dennis Johnson, and then after that, you had to go overcome. The bad boy Pistons with Bill Laimbeer,
but he didn't
Isaiah Thomas,
overcome
and
it.
then
But okay,
and everything else.
Champ Car. Hold on one second, and then I'm gonna get H Rebels in. My point is, and take a minute, because I'm gonna get Champ Car line. I'm gonna get H Rebels in, but take a minute and tell me when he faced an over or adversity and won over it, right? Because like Lim Bias, right? Again, Lim Bias faced crack cocaine in a crack epidemic era, and he lost. So we can't say he overcame it. He lost, right? MJ, Michael Jordan doesn't come from a crack baby mama. Father, he doesn't come from a single mother in the hood, right? He came from a two-parent household. Now, father is questionable, but this man never faced adversity that he overcame. And his first chip was an aging Magic with HIV. So just take a time, think about it, and I'll come back to you. H Revels, how you
Okay.
doing, sir?
Yeah, hey, I just wanted to come up for a little bit and just kind of speak to the topic a bit. I actually like that you're doing this because this is sports is always the topic of great debate among men, right? Or sports enthusiasts, because we got to include the women who like it too, the
Yes.
few who actually do. And then, of course, as people grow up, then what the ideal is, you're a child, then you want to learn the history, and then of course you're going to have your what you consider your era of your sports heroes. So you're going to have a favoritism towards that, which is one of the reasons I know you like Kobe, right? So we all, most of us that actually pop up on this in these discussions grew up in the Kobe Jordan era. So we got to kind of witness that, and then Black Guru who kind of pops up. he kind of focuses on the Bill Russell era. And we actually did I don't know if you remember, we did that discussion about Bill Russell and a whole episode on him. And that kind of actually thrust for me. Obviously, I didn't see it. I caught the last tail end of it. And I knew about him, but I didn't really understand his social impact and accomplishments until we kind of had that discussion. So, a shout out to Roger Report for actually highlighting him. All of that being said, I don't know if you did this with the other guests, but right off the bat, my top 5, if I had to come up with some, obviously right off the bat, is Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. Bill Russell is obviously going to be up there in that list. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and then of course Irvin Johnson, right?
Right.
And and it might seem a bit tokenist or a little bit of tokenism, but I got to throw Larry Bird in there, just for kind of honorable mention. Even though he's not in the top 5 for me personally. But that being said, and I like what you were doing. You kind of mentioned your criteria. You're talking about adversity. I didn't know if social impact was one of your criteria. If it is, that
Yeah.
counts.
Well, let me. Okay, so this is what happened,
Go
right?
ahead.
So first, I typed into AI, give me the top 10 greatest players of all time, and the random order was Steph Curry, Hakeem, Shaq, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Tim Duncan, Kareem, LeBron, Michael, and Kobe. And then my criteria was accolades, scoring skills, two-way dominance, impact on winning, longevity and consistency,
Yeah.
era of dominance, quality of opponents, international fame, Olympics, overcoming adversity, skill sets, and cultural impact, team relevance, and intangibles, and make teams better. So for cultural impact, actually, Steph Curry wins that category.
Huh, that's interesting. Which that makes sense in this era of social media, right?
Yeah.
Because had social media been a thing, 1960s and earlier, then Bill Russell would have been at the top of the list as
Yeah.
far as social impact, because he
Yes.
had more struggles and adversity to overcome probably than anybody, right? When you're playing in the
Right.
era that he played in, all right,
Right.
and he won many more. He won all of those championships under that time frame, and not being really recognized for it, and then on top of that, kind of being, I'm not gonna say not washed out of the history, but a bit kind of put on the back burner because
Well,
he's
yeah. Well, in the beginning, I said Russell, Dr. J, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I mean, not Russell, Wilt, Dr. J. Those guys, because a lot of the stats we have now
yeah,
wasn't calculated back then, also. So it's
yeah,
really hard to compare. So we just kind of put them as the founding fathers, give them their respect, give them their flowers, and put them there because, like a lot of stats that we look at today, they just didn't exist back then.
yeah, and so yeah, so when you add like that from the earlier from its early existence, obviously guys like Will are going to be in the top 10. Again, it's a toss up whether or not he's in your top 5. He
Yeah.
could be. He's going to be for some people, others, but you can't argue him out of the top 10. Guys like Wilt Chamberlain, even Pete Maravich.
Yeah.
The impact that he made during the time that he played. Now, his thing was that he was just really good in an area where there was a majority of black players. He just kind of stood out because he was just that good. Against people who had just more natural ability. So he had to work harder, which means, but as far as social impact, and so he was kind of a hero to maybe to other people, but
Hey,
not so much to black folks.
not to interrupt, but I would also add George Gervin, the Iceman in that category
Yeah.
too. With Pete, with Pistol Pete, because he was a hell of a player back when he was playing for the Spurs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Um,
all these guys are great, but again, like, yeah, it's just based on when analytics really could calculate to be fair, and it wouldn't be a fair shake for those guys,
it,
especially
it
now, like
makes sense
like
that
they
the
weren't on
list will
the
be Yeah, it
say
makes
again.
sense that the list will be different based on artificial intelligence versus how when you add the human factor, because
Yeah,
remember, AI is not going to it's going to dismiss the emotional factor, right? And that's going to
right,
be the one thing
right.
that humans have that the AI doesn't.
Well, I mean, like, okay, like the eye test, right? The eye test, most people are going to say different things. Like the eye test for me, I would say Allen Iverson. but a lot of people will say Jordan.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Right, but I would say Allen Iverson, right? Like talent, like box office every night. I would say Allen Iverson because, as a matter of fact, I was an Allen Iverson fan. I wasn't a Kobe fan. I'm a more of an Allen Iverson fan.
Yeah. So
Right.
and Iverson was kind of an anti-hero to some extent, right?
Right.
Or not so much an anti-hero, an anti-hero to others, a villain to some, right? So yeah. But at any rate, it makes sense that the list would be different uh, based on AI versus how your own personal list. So that's that, and this is where, which is good. And these are good debates to when you're at a cookout or when you're just kind of passing time or when you're sitting at the airport waiting to board your plane. One good thing about sports,
Yeah.
it actually in these debates, it's actually relatively unifying in the
Yeah.
sense that.
Hey, hang on 1 second.
uh,
AL, if you're listening, you're definitely welcome to come up. Just don't cuss me out. You can come up.
Yeah, it's actually they're relatively unifying in the sense that people forget about their cultural differences, their social differences, political, all this other stuff, and then the focus is just on sports. That is, and this is this, and this, and I don't know if this was your intent, but this is the one good thing I do like to draw the parallel between sports and everything else is that sports, out of everything that goes on in the world, is the one unifying thing that people can kind of rally around, regardless of politics, education, class, race, religion, and everything else. That's the one thing that people will put all that stuff aside for a few hours to finally rally around sports. Because we can all we all wish we could play soccer as well as Messi, or shoot a basketball as well as LeBron or Steph, or hit a baseball as well as
Billy
one of the
Mays.
greats. But this is one topic that that it does have a unifying aspect to it, and that's one of the things I do like about sports. So I don't know if that was your intent, but that is a residual effect of these types of discussions. So shout out to you for that.
Oh, thank you.
I'll leave it
I
as an
appreciate
opening and
that.
kind of let you respond.
Oh no, I appreciate. No, it's fine. Like I said my piece in the beginning, right? But I appreciate that. But my thing is that well, two things. Number one, justice for Kobe because uh when we really look at everything, we calculate everything. Kobe is the greatest player that the NBA has ever produced. Right? When we put everything together. Now I get it, he wasn't the originator, but if we look at everything that he has done with the type of help that he had and the obstacles and overcome, right? The problem with Kobe is that people don't like him, right? They didn't like him as a person. They didn't like his personality. But if he was a friendly person, a personable person, then people would agree that he is the greatest player that ever played. One,
You
one,
know,
one,
well,
He
one.
wasn't personable with his colleagues, but outside with the media, fans, and outside off the court, he was very personable.
No, the
Um,
yeah,
media
and,
hated
and,
him.
and,
The
and
media,
international too. Kobe, he was interesting in the sense that he had international,
yeah, Kobe.
not only
Kobe is
fame
more.
but international culture. He was culturally he's culture internationally. He
Yeah,
was culturally relevant based on the fact that he spoke multiple languages, grew up in different countries.
right. So,
Did it,
so for example, right, Kobe is way more popular outside of America than he is in America. Actually,
yeah, I would
people,
agree.
more people love him abroad than people in the states, and globally, like I said before, like people know Michael Jordan, but people love Kobe Bryant. Like
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant has statues in multiple Asian countries while he was alive. While he was alive, Jordan doesn't have one.
Hmm. Well, he does. He
Right?
does at the Chicago Center, right?
at the United, what used to be called the
Yeah,
United
United,
Center
right?
in
At the United
Chicago.
Oh,
Center.
hold on.
Yeah,
I don't. Do you hold on?
and
Does
I think
anybody
he
know?
had one. Well,
Hold
listen, I
on,
think he had
guys.
one.
One second. Does anybody know who Conyer is?
Louis Conyer. I've
Yeah.
seen him before. Yeah,
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
He's
Let me add him. I'm gonna cover the screen real quick. Lewis,
Yo, what's up?
what's going on?
This is me, Red Pill Sleeper Cell.
Oh, okay.
yeah. Yeah, but at any rate, just shout out to you for the discussion and just that's the one thing I do like about the sports. I've only found out really two places in life. One is around sports, and the other one is in the military. Now, I'm not saying the military doesn't have its issues. They do. They got sexism and racism and a whole bunch of other stuff, right? And there's politics associated with the military. That being said, it's tempered because it's a more structured lifestyle. Like you can't be openly, you can't be openly screwed up in your ideology in the military because that affects how you operate and function with others as a team.
Okay, great.
So,
all right, Lewis, what do you got for me? Have you heard the show, or are you just calling in?
I was listening. But I think with the Kobe thing, I think one of the things that the knock against Kobe is that he had Tim Duncan in his era, and Tim Duncan won just as many championships than Kobe, although Kobe was more of a pop culture and commercially accepted, and Tim Duncan was only, he was only really popular in his region.
That's not true because Kobe era is from 01 to 2010. Tim Duncan won chips in the teens and he won in 99 before 2000. Kobe has beaten Tim Duncan in playoff meets. Kobe beat Tim Duncan in more playoff rounds than Tim Duncan did. It's not close. But please continue.
That's all I had.
Well,
right, because that's not true. Tim, like from 2000 to 2010, Kobe have won more championships, and Tim Duncan only got his fourth because he beat LeBron James in Miami in the teens. But during the playoffs from 2001 to 2010, Kobe beat the Spurs more than the Spurs beat Kobe.
You know what actually hurts LeBron? You know what actually hurts him? Is the super team concept, right?
Yep.
That's what actually hurts him. Because everybody, when you talk about Russell, Chamberlain,
and don't forget the steroids.
And Jordan, right? Say again.
Don't forget the steroids.
Okay, yeah. And then you got to talk about Larry Bird. So teams were built around those superstars, right?
Right.
And people are going to always argue against James and his championships, and of course the bubble ring, right? That's gonna be controversial.
Well, for me, ring is a ring. I count the bubble ring. Ring is a ring.
You count the bubble ring?
Yeah, you gotta count
that.
A ring. It's a ring.
A win is a win. It doesn't matter how. Like whether you sleep with a girl on the park bench or in the bedroom, you got it.
Well, okay. So now before C19, they had to shut down they were on track to actually make that happen. So it's not people. You could make the argument that it was going to happen anyway, with or without that interruption, because they were on track to make it happen anyway. Like they were having that type of season, so it was on track. It's just people are gonna always associate it with that what if, right? It's always gonna be a what if, the alternate reality, right? Had somebody else been able to pop up and there had been no major interruptions, had any other team would have been able to keep their momentum or build momentum, to that point.
I don't, man. Look, again, whether you slept with her in the back of a taxi or in a 5-star hotel, you got the coochie. So,
okay, all right, even with the bubble ring though. But so still, do you think the super team hurts him or helps him?
Oh, it definitely hurts him because and this is the thing, right? Kobe Bryant, out of the top 10 nominations, Kobe Bryant is the only player that the team didn't build. He's the only person that was drafted and the team wasn't built around him. Right?
Yeah, you get less chips that way because you can look at Antetokounmpo, right? So when Giannis won the championship, right, out there in Milwaukee, right, when the Bucks won, he actually said, "And I got my ring the right way." Now that was him throwing shade to everybody else. Like, look, I was drafted at this team. The team was built around me and other players, and we got to the point where we actually won a championship.
Right.
You're gonna get fewer rings that way. Your stats are gonna be what your stats are, but you're gonna end up with less chips that way.
Well, I mean, that's why Kobe and Jordan are at the top. Because they did it the right way, they were able to get more rings than everybody else.
Yeah, and here's the thing too. Speaking of Giannis, his stature is going to be looked at, and it's going to be respected over the fact that he won a championship in a small market city like Milwaukee. They didn't go out there. They didn't go up there and get all-star play, top 5, top 10 players, like a Kevin Durant, add him up there or add another player there. He didn't that didn't happen. They built the team around him and everything. The same thing what they did with, Djokovic right now, the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, hold on. One second. So shout out to the people in the chat. If you want your top 5 team to be read, please send in the super chat. If you think Kobe should not be ranked number 1, please send in the super chat. Because right now, Kobe is still ranked number 1. No one has put together an argument that Michael Jordan is better than Kobe or your favorite player. So again, if you want your top 5 to be read, please put in the super chat. If you want your favorite player to be read or mentioned, please send in the super chat. Okay, please continue.
So what's your differential factor between Kobe and Jordan as it relates to why you put him over Jordan? What's your deciding factor?
One is adversity. Number 2, Kobe won with less, and Kobe won with less. And number 3, just Kobe was just a better overall player. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. I was just informed. No super chats are available yet. I apologize. Okay, then forget about it.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, just kind of start a
Yeah,
comment.
I was just helping. This is not my channel, folks. I was just, trying to help my main man out. This is not my channel, but you can send a cash app to the nigga though. Anyway, let's continue.
Okay, so yeah, people are gonna argue that point back and forth in the sense that
here it is. Here basically is this, right? So you had the 14 categories, right?
Yeah.
And because I think you can't just say winning is it and that's it, because it's more than that. It's more than that, just winning. And so basically what I say is this: overcoming adversity, winning on par with Jordan, and then his skill set puts him a little bit above Michael Jordan. And then most importantly, Kobe Bryant is the only superstar that went to a team that the team did not build around him in the beginning. Remember, he started off as a bench player. Jordan did it, LeBron did it, T-Mac did it, and so everybody look as that as a knock. But this man came from a bench player to a global icon.
Well, you can make the argument. Okay, so Jordan was a starter. We get that, but you could also make the argument that Jordan still had to build up to his championships. It took him 5-6 years to get the first chip.
8. I think 8.
Okay, well, yeah, damn. Okay, so I was wrong. That's still a long time. Like they had to build that around Jordan, and then they had to sustain it. And then there was arguments about sustaining it too, right? Because to the point where it was detrimental to because Pippen could have went someplace else, and he could have, based off what he was able to accomplish in Chicago and got more money, but he stayed and took the pay cuts and the disrespect and everything that went along with playing with Jordan.
7 years. Sorry, 7 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm about to invite Truth Teller up with his bullshit, but before I do that, yeah. All right.
Yeah, I just wanted to.
Yeah. I hear you. You continue.
Yeah. I just wanted to, because again, people are gonna always be looking for the differential factors, right? That get you to that decision, and that what that does, it allows for maybe somebody else to even be, move further up the list. And the list, and for some people, the list is going to shift over time. I like that one video. I don't know if it kind of went viral on social media when somebody was like, well, I forget who it was. He was saying, MJ is my number 1, something is my 2. I got Kobe with my 2. And dude was like, you got Kobe with 2? Yeah, I got Kobe with my 2. Remember that one?
Yeah.
So it's always going to be that argument, but this is actually
that guy's an alcoholic. That guy's an alcoholic. But anyway, Truth Teller, welcome to the show. What do you got for us?
Good afternoon. I'm gonna go with this top five, right? I'm gonna go with this top five. Y'all might laugh at me, but my point guard is gonna be AI. I'm gonna go with my point AI. Jordan is my number two. Robert Ory is my number three. I'm gonna go with Dr. J as my four. Truth be told, he's a 3-4. And then as my center, I'm going with Kareem. That's my top five right there.
Okay. And so,
And
but the discussion of who do you think is the ultimate GOAT? Who would you have?
oh, it's Jordan. It's Jordan. Take it from somebody who got disappointed by that nigga for like more than a decade. Just
Shame on
took
you.
the soul from me many times over my childhood in my teens. He just did it so often and so convincingly. I can't sit up here and try to lie. This is what it is. I mean, I know we like Kobe, but remember, Kobe did straight out of high school to the pros.
Right.
But Michael Jordan went straight out of high school to University of North Carolina, which is basically NBA B.
It's pre-NBA. It's the G League. Come on, stop.
I mean, it's better than the G League because he was
It's
actually
better.
on the same. I mean, he had like 4 All-Stars that was part of the starting 5 for all. I mean, Hall of Famers that was part of the starting 5 at North Carolina when he got there, and they all thought he was great. So I mean, how you go? Kobe didn't look like that when he got into the league. He took about 3 years before he
So
got
let
on
me
the scene.
ask you this. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, and please be truthful.
Uh,
If Jordan came straight out of high school, right, to the NBA, to the Lakers with a prime Shaq,
with
would you?
to the Lakers with a prime Shaq. Okay,
Yeah. Are you building around Shaq? Or are you building around Jordan?
I'm building around Jordan.
That is okay. We're done. We're
I'm
done.
building around Jordan. You know why I'm building around
No,
Jordan?
I don't want
Because
to know why. I don't even want to know
it's
why.
because of Shaq's inconsistency to stay on top.
So you're
Even when he
telling
was,
me high school
I'm not.
Jordan? You're telling me high school 18-year-old Jordan over
Mhm.
Shaquille O'Neal?
Right, because he would come into the league realizing that he got to prove something.
Yeah.
So,
Put them
Truth,
the same eyes.
I have a question
So,
for you,
so
too.
that means that's where you come in, where you practicing for 2 hours before practice, and you
See,
practicing for another
this
2 hours after practice. You think
wait, wait, wait,
primetime
wait,
Shaq
wait, wait, wait,
is
wait,
playing
wait,
like
wait,
that?
wait, wait. See,
primetime
this is why. See, this
primetime
is
Shaq is rapping, sir.
hold on
He's
1 second.
rapping. You don't got time for
See,
all of that.
this is why MJ fans are drug addicts.
Oh God.
This is
So, Truth,
eight levels.
did you
Let
pick
me
your guys
hold on.
based off
Let me
position?
ask everyone one by one. Let me ask everyone one by one. Let me start with Step Car for Life. Step Car for Life. 18-year-old Jordan or Prime Shaq at LA with Phil Jackson. Who are you building your team around?
Okay, this is gonna be controversial, but I'm building mine with Michael Jordan.
Get the fuck out of here. H Rebels?
No,
The reason why everybody's saying that is because Jordan, his 18-year-old Jordan getting into North Carolina. Because remember, when he got out of high school, he was scoring 27 points a game, getting 12 rebounds a game. That was his average in high school when he
yeah,
came out when he graduated, right? That's better than Kobe and LeBron, just so y'all know.
that's true.
So you can say that and you're comparing him to Prime Shaq, and I get it. Prime Shaq is crazy. Problem is Prime Shaq wasn't consistent enough to stay that way.
And he couldn't
Honestly,
hit, and his biggest weakness was that he couldn't
So
hit
hold
the
on, hold
free
on, hold on, hold
throw.
on. So let me
I
get
mean
this
the
right.
free throws is fine. We can let him have that
Hold on,
weakness.
hold on,
That's
hold on.
fine.
Let me get this right. Let me get this right. I want to hear from H Rebels. So Shaq carries Kobe, but now Shaq ain't shit. I got that right?
No, it's not that Shaq ain't shit. It's that Shaq is not consistent enough when he was at the top.
H Rebels, please chime in. What do you have?
I'm still in the air about that. I mean, he did have some flaws in his game, and he was kind of one dimensional, right?
But you're gonna build around an 18-year-old kid. Like you don't know Jordan. Not everybody doesn't know what Jordan's gonna do. You're telling me you're gonna build around an 18-year-old Jordan instead of a Shaq that just came from the finals.
I mean, no GM would do that. But
Thank
you also
you.
got
Thank you.
okay. So you also got to look at what his stats were coming out of school and college, though, right?
What GM is gonna focus on an 18-year-old MJ over Shaq that just came out of the Eastern Conference, that
Yeah,
just
no
came
GM.
out of the NBA
Yeah,
Finals?
GM. Yeah, tactically speaking, no GM would do that. That's not good strategy.
So hold on. So there's one more thing you need to take into account because I don't think people are taking into account the age difference because you're very specific on the age for Jordan. What was Shaq's age when he came out of that when he got that championship?
That's even more of a reason to pick Shaq because he's a veteran player and older, and he's proven.
No, you don't build depending on their age. You don't build your future around aging players. It's not what they do.
Well, we're talking
Okay.
about prime. No, but that he said
I
prime.
know, I know. Prime Shaq was what in
Hold
his
on,
early 30s, right?
gentlemen, 1 second. Fact checking is in the room. I just consulted with ChatGPT. This is the beauty of AI. Kobe Bryant, Laura Mary High School, uh, senior average 30.8 points per game, 12 rebounds. Michael, senior year average 29.2 and 11 rebounds.
There you go.
So they're
Shaquille,
comparable.
32 points and 22 rebounds. So Jordan is 29, Kobe's 30. Rebounds,
Mhm.
Kobe is 12, Jordan is 11. So you're not going to focus on a Shaq who just came out of the finals over an 18-year-old Michael Jordan. No GM would do that. Stop.
How old is Shaq?
But that's not the point. You're not going to do that at that time.
Of course
You
you are.
said
How old is Shaq?
okay. You said prime. You said you gave him prime,
Yeah, if he's prime, then that means he's in his what, late 20s, early 30s.
which means he's got another 5 to 7 years.
Right, but Jordan, the 18-year-old, got another 10.
But he ain't there yet. You're gonna
Right.
no GM.
That's the point. But
This is not even
the
an
question
argument.
is the question
Okay,
is who
so
do
the
you build a
question
team
is,
around?
yeah, the
You build a
question
team
is,
around
would
a
you
proven
build your
veteran and
team
You
improve.
around
you
around a young
All right,
thank you.
Michael Jordan?
hold on. Okay, gentlemen, 1 second. Order. I love order. So, it's going to go to H levels, then champ cards for life. But let me introduce this really quickly. Okay, so Shaquille O'Neal was 24 years old when he signed with the Los Angeles Lakers in 1996. Okay, H card. Champ card. You got it. Then H Rebels. Then back to Truth Teller. Or if Lewis wants to get involved. So okay, so he's 24. He's 24. Shaq is 24.
Right.
So 24 versus an 18-year-old. Go ahead.
Now a 24-year-old Shaq with against Michael Jordan. I would go with Shaq, but after if he was like close to 29 or 30, I would still go with
he,
Michael Jordan.
he said, well, hold on. There's something I
No,
need to
no, no.
clarify.
Wait. No, order. H Rebels.
Well, you skewing things because that's not when he won the championship though.
Wait.
That's when he
No,
signed with the Lakers.
right. So that's what Kobe
You
signed
said
in
you said you said Prime
Stop.
Shaq. Prime Shaq is not signing with the Lakers. Prime Shaq didn't happen until another 3 to 4 years
Stop.
later.
Right.
Stop.
See, that ain't cool, man. Don't be trying to change shit.
No. 1996, Kobe signed with the Lakers. 1996, Shaq signed with the Lakers. I'm asking about his. So I'm saying replace Kobe with Jordan. Do you build around Shaquille O'Neal, 24-year-old who just came from the finals,
Okay,
or
so not Prime Shaq.
he was in his prime at
That's
24?
prime Shaq right there.
That ain't Prime Shaq.
Yeah.
Prime Shaq won his first
Okay.
championship at 27.
Anyway, eight rebels, and then back to Truth Teller. What do you do?
You go
24
with
Shaq
Shaq.
versus 8-year-old Jordan.
Veteran, proven, prime. Despite the fact that he's, look, he had his flaws. He was kind of a one-dimensional player. Still, he's got the experience. He's got the time in, the experience, and he's got the playoff experience. Like, you're not going to nobody's going to make a decision and pick Jordan despite his double stats coming out of high school, over somebody who's with experience. And you still have some time left with Shaq.
I agree.
Well, he's in his prime, so it's just not a good tactical decision to go with an unknown versus a known.
If we say 24-year-old Shaq, Shaq all day. That's who we building around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Finally, sanity has arrived. Sanity.
But you had to change the conditions of your question quite a few times, sir.
No, he said prime Shaq. He said prime from the beginning.
I didn't change anything.
I did have a question about your top
prime. But hold on, prime Shaq is a championship ring Shaq. That's prime Shaq.
Yeah.
No, prime in age. Come on, bro.
We mean prime in age. What does that even mean?
Before you're in your prime in the NBA.
Yeah, so
not a prime player, prime age is what we talking about.
Yeah, prime age. Yeah, so
we talking about prime age and Shaq. Yeah, we talking about prime age and Shaq.
What I asked was this. What I originally asked was this. I said that would you build around 18-year-old MJ because Kobe was 18 when he entered, or do you build around a prime Shaq, right? Coming off of finals. I didn't change anything because when Kobe signed with LA in '96,
you actually said coming off a championship, but
Shaq
I hear you.
Right, so nothing would change. So I'm asking the group, right? If
prime Shaq, definitely,
right?
Yeah,
no question.
If you saying prime because of age, or you saying prime because of his position in the then prime Shaq, 24-year-old Shaq,
What I'm saying is what I'm saying is this basically. Take Kobe out, put Jordan in, and would something be different? Do you still focus
I mean,
on Shaq?
No, you're right. Yeah, if we talk about age, definitely Shaq.
That's what I'm really asking. Okay.
But I mean, they built around Shaq. That's what they did when Kobe came in.
Right, and Kobe was on the bench for 3 seasons, and this is what makes a better argument of why Kobe is the GOAT over Jordan.
I knew you was gonna do that. Here, I'm gonna counter that. I'm gonna counter that with one thing: the Chicago Bulls in the early '80s.
They sucked.
Oh no, it was worse than suck. They was the cocaine cowboys. So I'm just saying.
And at one point, let's not forget this too. Michael Jordan wanted to be traded. He wanted to be traded because it was such a lousy franchise at that time. He was trying to negotiate a deal where he wanted to get traded to the then expansion Charlotte Hornets when they first came about in the I think it was in 1987.
So let me ask you gentlemen a question. This is a yes or no rapid fire question. Did Michael Jordan win his first ring against LA?
Yes.
Did Michael Jordan win his first ring against an aging Magic Johnson?
Yeah.
Did Magic Johnson have
Johnson
HIV?
at that time was older,
Yeah.
Did Magic Johnson have HIV?
God damn.
No.
So basically, for Jordan needed so much help that Father Time and the government conspiracy to wipe out the black race. He needed all that.
God damn.
First ring.
I'm gonna just say this though.
Had to overcome the Detroit Pistons back then. That was a team that was on the crust of greatness at that time. That Detroit.
Why? Look, I got a real quick question for Truth though. So your top 5 was kind of unconventional. Did you do that based off position?
I did it based on position as well as what they accomplished in their careers. A lot of people sleep on Robert Horry, but he do got 5 rings and he has hit game-winning shots and he's tall and long. So I went with him as my small forward. I went with AI because he's quick as all get out and he can pass the ball if he wants to. And Jordan is Jordan. Tim is Tim.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay, I try to use the host and his criteria,
I couldn't
but
go with all ball hogs. You know, you can't go with
I was
all ball hogs.
if I had to
Truth
go
teller,
about with my top five.
Truth teller didn't listen to the categories, right? He ain't listen to that shit. He's on his own program,
It is, I
yeah,
am.
because
I heard the categories, but I still go with mine.
right?
well, I mean,
He's on his,
well, see, and that's the thing though. If you change the criteria, then it changes the outcome of your top
yeah.
five.
So, but my thing is this. My thing is this, and this question is for H Rebels because you're reasonable. The Detroit beat the shit out of MJ. How can we say he overcome adversity when he lost to them consistently?
He actually beat them the year they won the champions. He beat them the year after they won the championship.
But
So
that's what it was.
That's after they invoked the Jordan rules, right?
that
That's
is true.
after they figured out how to play against Jordan. And to this
Right.
day, no one still knows what those rules are, right?
So, but I
I
mean,
mean,
but
we kind
we
of
all
know.
saw we all saw the Last Dance, right? And
yeah,
then
We,
obviously there was a segment about how Jordan had to overcome Detroit. If they don't figure out how to beat him, then yeah, they
yeah.
they
Well, remember, they were the champions in '90. So when he beat them in '91 in that Eastern Conference Finals, he actually beat the reigning champs. And when they
yeah,
went to the Lakers and beat the Lakers, they just happened to beat the Western Conference champs, but the
right.
Lakers were not reigning champions. So I
But
mean, I know they were in
everybody.
the championship game, but it was that the championship game was really the Pistons.
No, I agree with that. I
So
agree with that.
I remember that time when they were talking about that, and John and Irvin Johnson said basically they just beat them. What he in a way he was saying that they weren't the team they could have been, or they were earlier. Uh, so that's why they just got handed. You know,
Yeah, but it's just father
that's why the
time.
Bulls were able to handle them. They just weren't the
Right,
team they used to be.
right. It was just father time, right?
Yeah.
It's just father time, and
Yeah.
so that's the thing. Like
Because
Jordan,
everybody's like, well, you guys got the veterans, you have the experience. Why can't you beat these guys? We're not who we used to be. Like these
yeah, it's
guys
just
are
father
young,
time.
up and coming. They're hungry. We've already had that, and we just can't overcome it based on
Right.
age
Yeah.
and a few other things.
See, that's my thing. And like, when it comes to Kobe, I mean, he has beaten more 50 plus teams than any NBA player in NBA history. And on top of that, the 08 and the 010, especially 2010, was the greatest playoff run in history of the NBA.
Well, I mean, so I'm gonna hand to Hans Sauce. He's got a good argument. I'm just gonna say between now until the end of the time, there's always gonna be an argument between Jordan and Kobe as to who
Yeah.
is overall
I
the greatest.
there's no
Yeah.
argument. Let's just settle it. You know how we know that Jordan was better than Kobe? Because Kobe said it. It's just that simple, y'all. Let's just stop playing games, man.
Because Kobe what?
Yeah.
Because Kobe said it out of his
Kobe
own
did it.
mouth
Kobe
on
did it. That is
Yeah.
a
TV.
misquote. That is a
Sure did.
misquote. That is a dirty, underhanded thing. It is misquoted. So first and foremost, when they always ask, rank when everybody asks Kobe,
He
MJ,
leaves himself
LeBron,
out.
he put himself first. Kobe puts himself first.
All right. So yeah, that's going to always be the argument from now until the end of time. Kobe
I'ma
versus
just
Jordan.
I'ma just say this. All I know is they didn't say Kobe. They didn't say Jordan looked like Kobe. They just said Kobe looked like Jordan.
Well,
Yeah,
we
Is
can't
all
say
I'm
and,
that.
saying.
and that's true.
Is
Yeah.
Well,
is all I'm saying. So if
if
you
they
spend
were
your career chasing one dude and you don't accomplish all the things that he does, I'm sorry, you can't be better than him. It's
That's
just that
right.
simple.
No,
Exactly.
I would say Kobe Bryant's
I
career is
love.
better.
I like Philly niggas, man. They're my peoples.
Kobe career is better than Jordan's.
Mm.
you're going to have to substantiate that.
Yeah, that's an
Yeah.
Sure,
emotional
sure.
statement.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
you got
sure.
to.
I will say it this way, right? I'll say it this way. So first of all, let's look at the starts. Kobe went from a bench player to a global icon. That is amazing. That's a one of one. Jordan went just from a franchise player to the face of the NBA. Right? That's not a one-of-one. There's been many faces of the NBA. Kobe went from a bench player to the face of NBA. Number two, Kobe is the only player in NBA history that has led all scorers beating 50 plus win teams over a span of 3 years. Kobe has better footwork, better low post game than Jordan. He's a better shooter than Jordan. He has more 81 point games and all this, right? So at the end of the day, Jordan has 6 rings, but he had a lot of support with those 6 rings. Number one, Jordan was playing with the second best player in the NBA in Scottie Pippen, and that's according to Bleacher Report and ESPN. That Scottie Pippen is ranked between number 2 and number 5 of the best players in the 1990s. Jordan was the franchise player that they built around him. Kobe Bryant even had wasted years. The Smush Parker and Lamar Odom wasted years. Then he took a fringe one-time All-Star, goes to the finals 3 times in a row, and went back-to-back championships. I would also submit to you this: if Kobe Bryant played with Scottie Pippen, if Kobe Bryant had a franchise built around him, Kobe Bryant will have more than 6 rings.
Well, I'm a rebut you going backwards. So that last statement, you realize Gary Payton and what's his name, Charles Barkley, played on a specific team together.
They didn't win
Right?
a championship.
Oh, I know. What was that team?
Suns.
Okay. So the fact that if Kobe Bryant had Scottie Pippen, at the time Kobe Bryant was hot without Shaq, you're telling me Scottie Pippen would have helped him do better? I highly doubt that because Pippen was in the league at that point in time and nobody knew where the hell he was playing at.
So we can't go with hypotheticals though. We gotta go with what actually happened.
So the next
and right now Hot Sauce is he's actually making a pretty good argument.
Actually, I'm going to rebut all of them. So Kobe did have a number 1 player in the league that he played with, and he got his first 3 championships with. Ta-da! We forgot the history that quick, huh?
Yeah.
No. Nobody's forgetting that. I'm talking about his second.
You talking about his second set? Oh, okay. So we're not talking about the first set where he played with one of the best players of all time.
But that's
wait. Let me finish. I'm rebutting.
No, you stop. I'm the host.
I'm rebutting. How are you going to interrupt my rebut?
Hold on. It still does not negate the fact that he has won he's the only NBA player to win 2 NBA titles without a 75 top player. That is fact.
I mean, Chauncey Billups did. What we saying?
Yeah, Chauncey Billups.
Okay, please listen again. He is the only NBA player to win 2 titles without a top 75 player.
Chauncey Billups did.
Yeah,
Chauncey Billups did not win 2 titles.
Yeah, we're not talking about this is Jordan.
They won 2.
No, he won 1 title. He won 1 title, and then they went back the next year and lost to the Spurs.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have said Rip Hamilton. My fault.
Yeah, Rip Hamilton.
Rip Hamilton did.
Yeah.
With who? And Rip Hamilton is not a star, not an NBA star.
And the focus is Jordan versus Kobe. So we can't throw other people.
So I'll go back to that.
You can't do hypotheticals. You have to go with what actually happened.
So your first point in what you were saying about Kobe, I forgot you said in regards to I think you said he was sitting on the bench and he did something. What was your first point? That was just nonsense. But
no, I said Kobe Bryant is the only NBA player that came from a bench player to be the face of the NBA and a global icon.
Right. So you tell me Michael Jordan's not a global icon?
He did not come off the bench.
I understand, but you tell me because when you gave the description, you didn't mention the icon part or the fact that
Yes, I
he was
did.
Kobe's
Yes,
idol.
yes,
You
sir.
might want to rewind it and listen to it again.
Hey,
Truth though, you got to go with his criteria because one, he's setting the criteria and he's actually
No, I
corroborating.
hear him. I'm just saying I'm disputing his first point be
Well,
that Michael Jordan was Kobe Bryant's idol.
he's providing corroborating evidence to support not only his claim, but based off his criteria that he
I
set.
understand. His claim is that the first claim is that Kobe came off the bench and moved himself to a global icon. I understand
Okay, that
that,
is
and I'm
true.
not. I
That's
understand
true.
that. I am not disputing he became a global icon from the bench. What I'm pointing out is the person I'm saying is better than him was his idol, even after becoming a global icon. That's
Well,
why I beat. That's why I
everybody
beat the first one, and there's indisputable evidence to support that.
everybody has somebody to look up to and
Oh no no
aspire
no no
to.
no! I mean,
And we
while he
agree
was
with that.
playing. I mean,
Hold
while
on,
he
but
was playing.
wait.
Yeah, while he was playing.
Rebuttal means that you're rebutting the facts.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant
Your
was a
first.
bit.
All right, hear me out, guys. Your first point was he was great because he accomplished those things, and I'm saying it is true he accomplished those things. But he's not better than Michael Jordan because he accomplished those things. Because even when he was accomplishing those things, Michael Jordan was still his idol and he was still chasing him.
So
Light
again,
bulb, anybody?
so like yeah,
That doesn't take away
you're
from
not
the
making
fact of what he's
No,
saying.
I didn't say it takes away. I'm just saying Michael Jordan is better and Kobe's the proof. You were giving me Kobe's stats as the proof that he's better. I'm giving you Kobe as proof that Michael Jordan was better.
Well, everybody has somebody that they aspire to outside
True.
of themselves.
yeah, but
But you
just
want to
because
keep
you
going that way?
that doesn't make any sense. Like I said, and my
Oh
point still
God, it don't
stands.
make any sense now.
Yeah, because my point still stands. Kobe Bryant is the only NBA player in NBA
All
history
right,
that
I'll do
started
it
off
the
as a bench player and
I'll
became.
do it the slow way. Those stats don't mean he's the best, although they're
Yes, it
difficult to.
does. Yes, it does.
Well,
Yes, it
well,
does.
hold on. What's the name of Kobe's sneaker?
I don't know.
Thank you.
So anyway, yeah. So anyway,
So
so
who's a
again,
bigger? So who's a bigger icon? Kobe or Jordan?
today
Yeah.
in America, Jordan. Outside of America, Kobe.
Don't Kobe have Kobe's?
Yeah, you have Kobe's.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has Kobe's.
Yeah,
No.
but
There's a specific name for his sneaker. Nobody knows it.
but we're not talking about sneaker styles, right? We're not talking
I
about
was just.
sneaker.
You told me to point out evidence of his icon level. That's all I was doing. Everybody
So
knows
so so
Michael Jordan got sneakers up to number 34. So I'm
see
just
this is
asking a question to prove whose icon level is higher than whose. That's all I did.
but nobody so again, what I'm
Uh
saying
huh.
is that he has accomplished more with less. This is one of the reasons why Kobe is better
How
than
did he
Jordan.
accomplish more with less? Because he
Also,
sat on the
I I
bench.
I told I'm the host, bro. Calm down.
Yeah,
I
all right, all
also
right. You're right.
I also gave evidence, and I said that okay, like one of the things we're talking about global icons, right?
Uh huh.
Who has statues literally all around the world, and who doesn't? Kobe has statues in China, Turkey, Italy, Spain. Jordan does not.
So look. So here's where Hot Sauce is going to win, right? Is that you got to look at the criteria that the host came up with, and when you do the comparison and contrast, it's going to edge Kobe. Kobe's going to edge out over Jordan. Now,
Actually, I'm not because he just
the
said
only
something.
the only
Sorry, go
other way to
ahead.
make this even is if they both play in the same era, and they both that's like
No,
there's a 1 or 2 year difference. They both played in the same era, 1 or 2 year difference with similar supporting cast, right?
actually, hold on, Kev. We don't because he just said something that actually crushes his point. He said, he said he had less. He started out with less, right?
That that
The
that,
team,
that actually makes it stronger for Kobe.
actually, hold on. The team he sat on the bench for 3 years, were they better than the Bulls that Michael Jordan came in and started for?
No, because they weren't winning. So that
Were
actually
they?
You got to
So that
listen to
makes
the.
that
You
means
got to.
that
You
means
got to stick
Kobe
within
didn't.
the criteria.
Well,
I mean,
hold on, hear me out. Damn, you keep telling me about criteria. I'm following it. He
okay.
said Kobe started out with less. If he started out with a better team, how could he start out with less?
They weren't winning.
Hold on,
Who
pause.
wasn't winning?
The
Shaq
Lakers.
wasn't
They didn't win
winning.
any chips. They weren't
The
any
Shaq,
chips.
Bulls were
Shaq,
the Bulls weren't winning either, but who was a better team?
the Bulls.
The Bulls were a better team when Michael Jordan came in '84.
Listen.
Oh
When
shit!
Shaq,
Stop it!
listen,
Stop it!
listen. Oh my God, listen. When Shaq came to the Lakers in '96, the first time he lost in the first round playoffs against the Spurs. Then the second season he lost to the Utah Jazz and Carmelo in the second round, and then the third season he got knocked out again. Shaq never made until Kobe started. Shaq never made it past the second round in LA. Check it. Shaq never made it past the second round in LA in the playoffs.
In order to make a more fair comparison, you would have to have both of those guys coming in the league at about the same time, with similar circumstances on the team and similar supporting cast, which you don't have. So you have to go with the facts of what's been presented in front of you as far as the criteria,
Right.
and then what they actually were able to accomplish with based on just the reality of their situations.
So,
And in
but
that
the point,
sense, and in
but
that
the
sense,
point,
Kobe does edge out the emotional argument, but people are going to primarily make an emotional argument for Jordan.
I agree with HR. So HR, do you know what the Bulls' record was the year before Michael Jordan came into the league?
Yeah, it was abysmal. Yeah, it wasn't good.
Do you know what the record was for the Lakers the year before Kobe came into the league?
I believe they had a winning record, right? It was over 500, right? But not
So
chip
so
level.
how did Kobe
They
start out
weren't
with
they weren't
less?
chip level. They weren't playoff level.
I understand. How did Kobe start out with less? I'm just
no,
asking that question.
no.
Well, because he had to
So
sit, right?
True. So
He was sitting.
when Kobe finally started, right? He sat for 3 years. When he finally started, what was the record of the team the year before that?
Again, they were winning over 500, but not chip or playoffs.
but they
So
weren't
how
winning
did Kobe
playoff
start
games.
with
They weren't
less?
winning playoff games. Jordan was winning playoff games.
What
Jordan
happened?
was making it to the when Jordan was playing on the Bulls, right?
Uh-huh.
He was making it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
No,
When
he
Kobe,
didn't.
yes he was because he would face Detroit and Detroit would knock him out,
Right.
right?
I'm talking about when he first came into the league. You skipping it. You're going 5 years in the future.
No, but I
Right?
mean, because what do you? I don't
Are
understand your
you
point.
are you doing apples to apples?
I'm doing
Michael
apples
Jordan
to
come.
apples.
Hey, I'm
So
doing the comparison like y'all told me. This is the
Okay,
conditions you set. When Jordan came into the league, his team had 24 wins.
right,
When Kobe came into the team, he sat the bench for 3 years, but when he came into a team with 48 wins,
okay,
more than 50%. Kobe sat
right,
the bench for 3 years before he started. The year before he started, they had about 50, I think it was 52, if I remember correctly,
right,
right? Michael Jordan
right.
got injured 3 years after he came into the league, 87.
So
His team
when
still didn't
Jordan,
finish with 50 something wins, just so you know.
so when we're talking about
Okay,
he had more with less. Jordan was the franchise player. They
right?
built they built the team around Jordan, right?
Okay, yeah,
They got new coaching in, and they were
yep.
dedicated to putting Jordan at the forefront to win. That is not Kobe's
They,
story.
they
Again,
didn't do that for Kobe.
no,
We talking about
absolutely
this.
not.
We talking about the second set of championships, not the first three, like you told me earlier.
No. We're talking
Oh, so
about
we
the
talking about the
beginning of the
first three
year.
again? We're
We're
going.
talking
Okay.
about the beginning, right?
so
When
you
Jordan
know what you
came,
guys are doing.
Uh huh.
You guys are doing the Jay Z versus I'm sorry the Tupac versus
Biggie.
Biggie argument. You guys are doing the Boys versus
No, because
Booker T.
Truth Teller
Washington
just
argument.
No,
You
I'm
guys are doing the
literally
Malcolm X
comparing.
versus Dr. King
Listen,
argument.
I'm literally comparing stats.
he no
And,
because
and I'm and I'm pointing. Hold on. Y'all set the conditions. You told me.
so basically what Truth Teller is doing is he's coming up like I will say something, and then he will change the conditions, and then he will make an argument based off his conditions.
Well,
When I
you got to go
said
with the conditions that's set forth by the
right, so
actual
when I
discussion.
said Kobe done more with less, right? Everybody understood that Kobe had to come from a bench player to a starter to an all-star to the face of the league to a global icon. His pathway to the global icon was much longer and much harder than when Jordan was. That's understood. And now we're talking about team records. And that's what I can't stand about disingenuous, because we're talking about Jordan starting off as a franchise player, then coming the face of the league, then becoming the global representation of the NBA. Kobe accomplished the same thing Jordan did, but he started at a lower rank.
So the only argument that somebody could have against you, hot sauce, is that they could argue that you set the criteria in a way that actually pushes Kobe to the forefront. Because
okay, fine,
what happened, and you could do that. You could have done that, but then again, the criteria is the criteria, and it's supposed to be fair and impartial and objective, right? And
right.
what
So,
that does is it actually edges Kobe out over Jordan as a number one. But the argument is always going to be Kobe versus Jordan, and then somebody's going to go, but Jordan in the flu game, right?
well, but my point is that if we're talking about the road to be a global icon, it's starting out less for the global icon. I don't understand when we're talking about team records, and that's what I don't appreciate. So I'm gonna unmute Truth Teller, but that's what I don't appreciate, and I also don't appreciate talking over me because I am the host. I will hear people out, but we have to be genuine in our arguments.
You there? He's there. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. I muted him.
That would be the only rebuttal that somebody can come back against you with, is that it's possible as the host you could have set the criteria to edge to put Kobe over the top, and then somebody else has to come in and they have to go along the timeline and come up with stuff like Jordan's flu game, when he hit the game-winning shot, whatever, and all this. They're gonna have to. That could be your only rebuttal. Anything else outside of that, it has to be all stuff that you can refer to.
I'll
Goes back and forth.
use his conditions, Kev. I can use his conditions. Michael Jordan came out of a pristine college, excelling over talented college basketball players. He came into the league with the worst team in the league. He played there. He didn't leave. He didn't sit the bench, but he played with the worst players in the entire league.
See, now there you go. That's where you actually have a
He
better
fought through the
argument.
Pistons.
Now you got to.
Yeah, he fought through he actually played. He got injured and got off earlier so he can make it back to play in the playoffs.
Okay. See, now we're talking. And so my reply to that would be this. Kobe.
Now hold on. It ain't done yet. It ain't done yet. Hold on, sir. I'm not done. I still got evidence to share. We're in the middle of it. So even after he came back and he was playing and they got to the playoffs, hit the game-winning shot, they went to the next round, they lost. He kept playing. They tried to build around him and pick up some quality players, but they did pick them up, but they weren't really in sync yet. But who else did he have to face? He had to face them Pistons. When did Kobe have to face any team like the Pistons? Never. Okay. So he goes against the Pistons, and they spend nearly half a decade beating him up on the court. Physically beating him up on the court. He doesn't quit. He doesn't stop coming. Hits the gym and figures out a way to get better. Comes back with the same team they've been beating on. No changes. Came back with the same team they've been beating on and beat them. So bad that they had to walk off the court without shaking hands. And then he went to the championship. And then we know the rest.
Where HIV and AIDS, Father Time helped him out.
He beat the Pistons, sir.
No,
the reigning champions.
All right. So
He
okay.
beat the
So you
reigning
finished?
champions.
Are
Yeah,
you
I'm done.
finished?
There you go. Yeah, I'm done.
All right. So here's the situation.
Uh-huh.
So this is Kobe's uh Herculean journey.
Mhm.
Goes to the NBA, has to deal with a coach that doesn't believe in starting rookies, sits on the bench for 3 seasons, and despite sitting on the bench 3 seasons, had to perform to a level where he was undeniably voted as an all-star. Not only that, Kobe had to fight his own team for the respect to be a primary scoring option on the team. Magic Johnson, Phil Jackson, all was like, let's go through Shaq. Kobe said, fuck that. I want my greatness now at 20 years old. So while Jordan was facing uh the Pistons and learning how to get better, Kobe had to fight his own team for respect and recognition. And where they finally exceeded to be okay, it's going to be a Superman Batman situation where you're going to be a 1-2 punch. He had to fight his own team, his own coaches. Phil Jackson is on record saying that Kobe, if you keep scoring 40 consecutive points, you're going to lose the big guy come June. And we need the big guy. Kobe was consistently asked to tone down his skills for the benefit of Shaquille O'Neal. And despite all of that, despite fighting with one hand behind his back, he still was recognized and from 2001 forward as the best player in the game. And on top of that, after Shaq left, you have a prime Kobe Bryant, and what do you put around him? Smush Parker, Kwame Brown, and Lamar Odom. Then, when you finally get a fringe All Star, he takes you to 3 consecutive NBA Finals and 2 back-to-back. And Kobe, a one top 75 player, faced 3 top 75 players in the finals: Pierce, Allen, KG. So he had his Piston moment. And let's not forget the greatest challenge of all. Kobe Bryant almost lost his freedom. He would fly to Denver, he would come back, drop 50 on people.
I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. He almost lost his freedom. Yeah. The other
Right?
stuff sounds like Jordan, though. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Well, right. So Jordan's freedom was never in contention.
It was. They told him to
Who?
pass the ball more, not to score so many points.
No. I mean
And guess
Jordan's freedom was never in
oh no.
contention.
I'm saying I give you that one. I'm talking about Jordan's everything that you just described. Actually, almost the same people told Jordan the same thing.
But the
Whoops.
thing about it is that
Whoops.
it was clearly his team. Kobe had to fight for that, and that's why I will always put. And then on top of that, the best playoff run in NBA history is 2010.
Okay.
Well, that's
There's
that's
one.
opinion. That's opinion based.
There's
So
one thing that you did say. His second round of playoffs, he went to the finals 3 times, but he only won twice.
yeah, because he don't have a Pippen.
Hey, he only won twice, sir.
Hey, Jordan never won without a Pippen.
Hey, Jordan won 3 times his second time around to the finals.
With Pippen and Rodman, who the fuck
Hey,
can't do that? I
I'm
can
sorry.
do that.
I didn't realize that was a condition, sir.
You
Are we
you
changing
you can
conditions
do
now?
that.
Are we
You can
changing
win with
conditions
Pippen
now?
and Rodman.
Steve Kerr,
Oh, Steve Kerr's
you
a
know the
little
guy
late.
who hit the winning shot because of an assist from Michael Jordan.
Yeah, but well, I mean, Meta World Peace did the same thing. Big hoop,
Okay, okay.
right? So,
I'm just saying.
Look, if you have Pippen and Rodman, who can't win? Really, who can't win? But anyway, gentlemen, we're almost at the 2 hour mark. It's been great. Too bad no one can really give a definitive answer outside of
Shout out to
six
Kobe.
for six,
R.I.P.
6 for 6. And for LeBron James, guys, LeBron James, I don't think he's even a top 5 player, to be honest.
I agree.
Like,
Yeah.
he's not better than Tim Duncan. He's not better than Shaq. Uh, he's not better than Kobe or Jordan. He's not better than Magic.
It's funny that you bring that up because early this morning, for some reason on my feed, I got videos of LeBron James traveling and doing flops. I was like, oh no. I mean, he's really out there doing it, man. He can't be a top 5 pick just because of that.
See, and
You're gonna have to have that LeBron James argument probably about 10 to 15 years from now. And we'll see where he ends up. And he's always going to be in the top 10 and see if he can move up to the top 5.
well, the problem with him is that number one, he's on PEDs, and two, even with PEDs, it took him too long to win.
Yeah, and the biggest argument against him is going to be again the super team.
Yeah, but Kev, but even with that, like 22 years, only 4 rings. Kobe, Magic, Kareem, MJ, all did it faster than that.
Yeah.
It takes this nigga forever.
5 or more. Yeah.
It takes this guy forever, and he still don't have 5 yet. MJ has 5. Tim Duncan has 5, and another thing. And another thing,
leave with just those 4. He's probably not going to get another one.
But and then also, this is the biggest blemish, Kev. He is the only top 10 guy who is below 500 for the finals.
Yeah.
Right,
I mean,
Magic is 5 and not 5. He went to Magic is what 5 and 4. Magic went to the finals 9 times, right, or 7 times.
Yeah, but he won most of the time. Yeah.
Right. He's the only one that's below 500. And Truth Teller, that's for you. You should. If anybody in New York and see Truth Teller in real life, cane his ass because
that's only because he has 4 championships. He has to get another one, then he'll get that 500. But he's not gonna get there. It's not gonna happen in the next few years. He's probably got 2, 3 years if he can extend it. But yeah, and the only reason he's really even playing at this point, he doesn't really have anything left to prove. I mean, and the other argument is going to be for his overarching statistics based on his longevity and the time he's been in the league since he went straight from high school to the NBA. But then it's going to be the number of chips and I would say the most negative thing against him is they had to make super teams.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. Chemcar for life. It says your device is not connected, so I can't add you back. Okay, please continue.
Yeah, that's going to be that's going to be his biggest issue against him. I mean, outside of that, he's got a lot of other stuff that's really going for him. NBA, straight from high school to the league. Losing team, he put them in the playoffs. He couldn't get the chip initially. He had to go back when Blazers got his championships, then came back to Cleveland. So, he's going to be elevated in the eyes of Clevelanders, right? And some other fans and the people who watched him play in his era. Because if you watch LeBron play, then you miss Kobe and Jordan, and then of course you miss Bill Russell, right? Which is why you gotta encompass the entire group. You have to be a student of the game. If you're not a student of the game, you're just gonna put LeBron at the top automatically just because of his era.
Yeah, but hold on, Kevin, let me say this real quick, and then I'll pass it right to you. I promise. My only problem is that the longer that LeBron plays, and especially play at this level, you gotta know that, bro, he's using something, and it's ruining his legacy. Because you gotta know he's on something. Chemcar, you got it.
Hold on. You can't really, because that's not necessarily true. Because didn't Vince Carter play in 4 different decades? He had longevity, not the championships, not the name recognition and everything else. But I mean, nobody's going to accuse Vince Carter of. He started at the end of 1 decade, played 2 full decades, and actually went into the beginning of another decade.
But you can see the
Yeah,
decline in
yeah.
Carter, right? You can see the decline in Kareem. You can see it.
Well, LeBron always touts his physical recovery and routine, his diet, and a whole bunch of other stuff to his longevity.
Yeah, hey,
Um,
pills are
You
part
know
of the
what?
diet.
Hey, but
I mean, you
listen,
got to
you
be
can
able to
also
explain it. I mean, it happens in other sports too. Same thing with Tom Brady. Same thing with who's that one dude? Remember when Adrian Peterson came back from his ACL injury? They were testing him all the time. It's like there's no way this dude just came off an ACL and he's out here putting up these numbers like this. There's no way.
yeah,
He
and
had
don't
he had that miracle season coming off
yeah,
an ACL.
and don't forget too. In Major League Baseball, Ricky Henderson was playing. The late Ricky Henderson, God rest that man's soul, he was playing till the age of 47. Ichiro Suzuki, he was playing competitive for the Seattle Mariners till the age of 46.
Yeah, so
And then
we can't use say that he's actually doing something when
Well,
other people
well,
across the board have been able to do other
yeah,
things.
now
In
in the
other
speaking of
sports.
words,
spin,
in the
spin off,
words of Kevin Garnett, LeBron James is on that balcony. Everybody knows it. I mean, bro. I mean, it is crazy that you guys really can't see that, but it's okay. I hear you.
Well, then
well,
we got to say that for everybody else. We got to
yeah,
put that on Brady, right? We got to
yeah,
put that on. We got to put that on other people. Hell, you can say that about Gretzky, like hockey, right? Like
yeah,
Yeah.
you got people who had really long careers and did well, in their prime, and then through their mid career levels, and they started to show some decline, which is why they had to leave. But they
same
still
thing.
were effective all the way up until they decided to just leave the game.
Yeah, same thing with Bernard Hopkins. The Hopkins was a champion all the way to the age of late 48, 49 years old. He finally retired after he was 50 and everything. And now you
Yeah,
got Manny Pacquiao coming back out of retirement at age 46, trying to win a belt.
yeah,
Yeah, well, but that's different.
you can't put that on him
That's
unless there's like corroborating, like overwhelming evidence to put that on him.
There is evidence. There is evidence, actually.
Oh,
Somebody's saying it, then you have to put it on. And you put that on Brady.
yeah.
No, but Brady, I would not be surprised if Brady did the same thing. But I know with Brady, his like, well,
They all
his
count. They all say the same thing. They
well,
got
Brady, but Brady,
and remember.
but
So remember, they didn't have all of these
but hey,
the
hang on,
physical
Brady,
training, the diet, nutrition, and focus on all of that other stuff. Matter of fact, people were taking tips from those guys and actually putting it across the board. I'll even tell you, even in the military, even when I first went in, by the time I got towards the end of my career, they had mechanisms and programs in place that were not there when I first showed up. That actually is going to extend these guys in their career. So by the time they get out, they're going to have fewer injuries that I incurred over the same time period.
but
Right.
what I'm saying is this: I would not be surprised if Brady has took stuff, but Brady, they also practice witchcraft, right?
I'll just be real careful with that. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
careful.
I hear you, but I mean that's all I'm saying. But anyway, we about to wrap it up. So,
Um,
you guys want to give any last statements?
yeah, I will make a case that LeBron James is not in the top five after all said and done because
I agree.
I'll make an argument that maybe Steph Curry had a better career than LeBron
I
James.
would also agree with that. I think Curry's a
'Cause,
better GOAT case than LeBron. I agree with you.
yeah, I will go with Steph Curry over LeBron James right now
I
because
would.
he I didn't like the fact that LeBron. I mean, LeBron's my guy. I didn't quite like the fact that he left Cleveland and went to Miami, and it was fun. But then when you look back at it, I like competitive teams. I like the small market teams. That's why the small market teams like the OKC Thunders, the Indiana Pacers, you know, the San Antonio Spurs did it the right way when they won the NBA Finals, even though I wasn't a fan of that team. The way how Miami won the NBA Finals that year, with him, with Wade, LeBron, and what's the guy's name, Chris Bosh. Yeah, you won, but you didn't win it. But you won it with team stacking and everything, and team stacking players like that.
Okay. H Rebels, your final comment.
Yeah. LeBron's gonna always have the super team argument against him, and then of course some other things as it relates to what he's able to do over the same time period versus everybody else. It's hard to put him in the top five, but he's going to make it in the top 10. And I would just say, consistent with your criteria and this discussion and the supporting evidence, um, Kobe Bryant is going to come out on top in the overall discussion as far as it relates to him and Michael Jordan. But it's also going to be people are going to implement and they're going to add the emotional aspect based on their attachment and what they actually saw, and based on how much of a fan they are. So it's going to always be debatable, and this is where you're going to always get the Jordan Kobe debate. That's where that's always going to stem from. Again, I relate it to Malcolm X, Dr. King, and Du Bois versus Washington, and a few other iconic rivalries, if you want to call it that.
Right. So
Tupac versus Biggie.
Right. So let me wrap up the show. So again, ladies and gentlemen, so at the end of the discussion, the vote has been in, the discussion has been made, and at the end of the day, Kobe or the Roger Report. So everybody, please get up for the Roger Report. The truth has finally been spoken on the Roger Report. Kobe Bryant is the undisputed GOAT. So out of 15 categories, Kobe Bryant wins 4.5. He wins for adversity, skill set, era, teammates, and tied for clutch. Michael Jordan comes in with a close second, 3.5 points. He wins in accolades, culture, and tied for clutch. LeBron James comes in third with tied for third. Longevity. Tim Duncan comes also in third for team independence. Steph Curry comes in with also tied for third with global impact. Magic Johnson comes in at tied for third, passing and vision. Larry Bird comes in with 1 point basketball IQ. Kareem comes in with 1 point for big games. Shaquille O'Neal comes in with I forgot rule changes. So he wins for rule changes. And then Hakeem Olajuwon wins in two-way dominance. So that is the tally, and Kobe wins. So it couldn't be a better place to do it on a fanboy page, to where Kobe Bryant finally gets his due on the MJ page. Thank you, Roger, for being bipartisan and a true lover of the sport, where you can admit that your guy was just not it. Thank you, guys, and we're going to end the stream. And you guys take care, and don't be like LeBron James and just say no to drugs.
You always got to put a dig in there. All right, man.
Yeah.